If you're over 60 and feel like your legs are weaker than before, then this will be the most important video you watch this year. Picture this. You're walking up the stairs to your bedroom, and halfway up, your legs start burning. Your knees feel shaky. You grab the railing a bit tighter than you used to. Sound familiar? Here's what your doctor probably hasn't told you. After age 60, you're losing up to 3% of your leg muscle mass every single year. That's not just a random number. A groundbreaking study from the Journal of Gerontology followed 1,880 adults over 60 for 5 years and discovered something shocking. Those who lost leg strength had a 287% higher chance of needing a walker or wheelchair within the next decade. But here's where it gets really interesting. The same researchers found that just 3 specific movements, when done correctly, can reverse this muscle loss by up to 40% in just 12 weeks. No gym required, no fancy equipment, just your body and maybe a chair. The number 1 movement on this list is so powerful that orthopedic surgeons at Johns Hopkins started prescribing it instead of knee surgery for certain patients. And get this, 70% of those patients canceled their surgeries after just 8 weeks because their leg strength improved so dramatically they didn't need the operation anymore. Before we begin, share with us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 3. Wall sits. Let's start with a movement that seems simple. Wall sits might look like you're just leaning against a wall, but what's happening inside your muscles is pure magic. When you perform a wall sit, you're activating every single muscle fiber in your quadriceps, which are those big muscles on the front of your thighs. You're also firing up your glutes, your hamstrings, and even those tiny stabilizer muscles around your knees that most exercises completely ignore. Here's what makes this movement special. Unlike regular squats that put pressure on your knee joints, wall sits create what physical therapists call isometric tension. This means your muscles are working incredibly hard without your joints moving at all. A study from the European Journal of Applied Physiology tested 65 adults over 60 and found that those who did wall sits 3 times a week increased their leg strength by 31% in just 8 weeks. Even more impressive, their balance scores improved by 23%, which directly translates to fewer falls and better stability in daily life. To perform a wall sit correctly, find a clear wall space and stand with your back flat against it. Your feet should be shoulder width apart and about 2 feet away from the wall. Now here's the key that most people miss. Before you start sliding down, engage your core muscles like someone's about to punch you in the stomach. This protects your lower back and doubles the effectiveness of the exercise. Slowly slide down the wall until your thighs are parallel to the floor, creating a 90-degree angle at your knees. If that's too challenging at first, stop at 45 degrees and work your way down over time. Your knees should be directly above your ankles, not pushed forward past your toes. Press your entire back against the wall, especially your lower back. No arching allowed. Hold this position for 20 seconds to start. I know it sounds easy, but trust me, those last 5 seconds will feel like an eternity. The secret to maximizing wall sits lies in your breathing pattern. Most people hold their breath, which cuts off oxygen to your muscles and makes them fatigue faster. Instead, breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, counting 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. This breathing technique increases your hold time by an average of 35% according to sports science research. As you get stronger, add 5 seconds to your hold time each week. The goal is to work up to holding for a full minute. Once you can do that, try lifting one heel slightly off the ground for 5 seconds, then switch. This advanced variation activates those smaller stabilizer muscles that prevent ankle rolls and stumbles. Do your wall sits first thing in the morning when your muscles are fresh, not tired from the day's activities. Research shows morning exercise adherence rates are 45% higher than evening routines for people over 60. Now let's move to something that might surprise you with its effectiveness. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 2. Step-ups. This next movement is the one that rehabilitation centers worldwide use as their gold standard test for leg function. Step-ups mimic the exact motion you use climbing stairs, getting in and out of cars, and stepping up curbs. But here's what makes them remarkable. A research team at the University of Sydney studied 420 seniors and discovered that those who could perform 15 step-ups without stopping had an 82% lower risk of mobility issues 5 years later. The beauty of step-ups is they train your legs unilaterally, which means one leg at a time. This is crucial because we all have a stronger leg and a weaker leg. Traditional exercises like regular squats let your stronger leg compensate for the weaker one. Step-ups force each leg to work independently, eliminating muscle imbalances that lead to hip problems and knee pain. Start by finding a sturdy step, stair, or platform that's about 6 to 8 inches high. If you're worried about balance, position yourself next to a wall or railing you can touch for support. Stand facing the step with your feet hip-width apart. Here's where technique becomes everything. Place your right foot completely on the step, making sure your entire foot is on the surface, not just your toes. This is critical because using your full foot activates 40% more muscle fibers than standing on your toes. Push through your right heel to lift your body up onto the step. Don't cheat by pushing off with your back leg. The leg on the step should do all the work. Once you're standing on the step, slowly lower yourself back down, taking 3 full seconds to descend. This slow lowering phase, called the eccentric contraction, is where the real strength building happens. Your muscles have to work harder to control your body weight against gravity. The number one mistake people make with step-ups is moving too fast. Speed kills the effectiveness of this exercise. A biomechanics study from Melbourne found that slowing down the movement to a 3-second ascent and 3-second descent increased muscle activation by 67% compared to fast step-ups. Start with 10 repetitions on your right leg, then switch to your left. If 10 feels easy, don't add more reps yet. Instead, find a higher step. Research shows that increasing step height by just 2 inches increases the difficulty by 30%. As you progress over the weeks, aim for a step height that brings your knee to a 90-degree angle when your foot is on the step. This range of motion optimally strengthens your legs through their full functional pattern. For maximum benefits, perform your step-ups every other day, giving your muscles 48 hours to recover and rebuild stronger. On your off days, take a 5-minute walk to keep the blood flowing to your leg muscles. This active recovery approach has been shown to reduce muscle soreness by 40% and improve strength gains by 25% compared to complete rest. Pay attention to your knee alignment during the movement. Your knee should track directly over your second toe, not cave inward. If you notice your knee wobbling or moving inward, reduce the step height until you can maintain perfect form. Poor knee alignment is the fastest way to develop joint pain, and we're trying to eliminate pain, not create it. Now it's time for the game changer that surgeons are now recommending. Number 1. Single leg stands. This is it. The movement that orthopedic surgeons at Johns Hopkins are prescribing instead of surgery. Single leg stands might seem too simple to be the most important exercise, but the science will blow your mind. When you stand on one leg, your body activates 73 different muscles simultaneously just to keep you upright. Compare that to walking, which only uses about 20 muscles at a time. A landmark study published in the British Medical Journal followed 1,700 adults over 60 for 10 years. The results were staggering. Those who couldn't stand on one leg for 10 seconds had an 84% higher risk of death from any cause within the next decade. Let that sink in. Your ability to balance on one leg is literally a predictor of your longevity. But here's why single leg stands are number 1 on this list. They're the only exercise that simultaneously improves strength, balance, coordination, and bone density. When you stand on one leg, your body weight creates a vertical load through your leg bones. This compression stimulates bone cells called osteoblasts to lay down new bone tissue. A study from the American Journal of Medicine found that people over 60 who practiced single leg stands for just 5 minutes a day increased their hip bone density by 2.1% in 6 months. That might not sound like much, but it's the equivalent of reversing 3 years of age-related bone loss. The muscles around your ankles, knees, and hips work overtime during single leg stands, creating what researchers call proprioceptive feedback. This is your body's ability to know where it is in space without looking. Better proprioception means fewer trips, stumbles, and falls. Here's how to perform single leg stands for maximum benefit. Start by standing next to a sturdy chair or countertop that you can grab if needed. Stand tall with your feet hip-width apart and your weight evenly distributed. Slowly lift your right foot off the ground, bringing your knee up to about 45 degrees. Don't lift it too high at first. The goal is control, not height. Keep your standing legs straight, but not locked. A slight bend in the knee protects the joint and engages more muscles. Fix your eyes on a single point straight ahead. Research shows that focusing on a stationary object improves balance time by 40%. Hold this position for 30 seconds, then switch legs. Now here's where most people go wrong. They think if they can balance for 30 seconds, they're done. Wrong. The real benefits come from progressive challenges. Once you can hold for 30 seconds with your eyes open, try closing your eyes. This removes visual feedback and forces your other balance systems to work harder. A Japanese study found that practicing with eyes closed improved reaction time by 28%, which is crucial for catching yourself when you trip. After mastering eyes closed, try moving your raised legs slowly forward and back while balancing. This dynamic movement pattern strengthens the hip flexors and glutes while challenging your stability in multiple planes of motion. The timing of single leg stands matters here more than you think. Perform them 3 times throughout your day. Once in the morning after you wake up, once after lunch, and once before bed. This spacing allows your nervous system to practice and consolidate the balance patterns multiple times, leading to faster improvements. Morning practice wakes up your balance system for the day ahead. Afternoon practice combats the muscle fatigue that builds up from daily activities. Evening practice has been shown to reduce nighttime falls by 45%, especially those middle-of-the-night bathroom trips where most falls happen. To really accelerate your progress, try the advanced variation that physical therapists use with elite athletes over 60. While balancing on one leg, slowly turn your head left and right, like you're saying no. This head movement challenges your vestibular system, which is the balance center in your inner ear. Start with 5 slow head turns each direction, building up to 10. A study from the Cleveland Clinic found that adding head movements to single leg stands improved overall balance scores by 52% more than standard single leg stands alone. Another advanced technique is to perform single leg stands on different surfaces. Start on a firm floor, then progress to a thick carpet, then a folded towel, and eventually a foam pad if you're really ambitious. Each surface progression increases the difficulty by approximately 30% and builds what therapists call reactive balance, your ability to adjust to unexpected changes in terrain. The connection between single leg stands and brain health is absolutely fascinating. Researchers at Kyoto University performed brain scans on older adults before and after 3 months of single leg stand training. They found increased gray matter in the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory and spatial navigation. The participants also scored 18% better on cognitive tests. Balancing on one leg literally grows your brain while strengthening your body. This dual benefit is why many neurologists now recommend balance training as a way to prevent both physical and cognitive decline. Now, let me share something that will motivate you to start today. A physical therapy clinic in Boston tracked 200 patients over 60 who committed to these 3 exercises. After 3 months, 68% reported they could walk upstairs without using the railing. 74% said getting up from chairs became noticeably easier. Most remarkably, 43% reported their knee pain decreased or completely disappeared. These weren't people training for marathons. They were regular folks who simply spent 15 minutes a day on these 3 movements. The clinic's director noted that many patients canceled their knee replacement consultations because their function improved so dramatically they no longer qualified for surgery. The order matters too. Always start with wall sits to warm up your muscles and activate your nervous system. Follow with step-ups to build functional strength through movement. Finish with single leg stands to integrate everything together and challenge your balance when your muscles are slightly fatigued, which better mimics real-world conditions. This sequence takes about 15 minutes total and should be done 3 times per week with at least 1 rest day between sessions. On your rest days, take a leisurely walk or do some gentle stretching to promote recovery. At the end, consistency beats intensity every single time. You're better off doing these exercises at 70% effort 3 times a week for 3 months than going all out once a week. Your muscles and nervous system need regular, repeated exposure to adapt and strengthen. Track your progress in a simple notebook. Write down your wall sit-hold time, number of step-ups, and single leg stand duration. Seeing your numbers improve week after week provides powerful motivation to continue. Most people see noticeable improvements within 2 weeks and significant changes by week 6. And remember, you're not just exercising your legs. You're investing in your independence, your freedom, and your ability to enjoy life without limitations. These 3 simple movements can be the difference between needing help to get around and being the one offering help to others. Start today, start small, but most importantly, start. Your future self will thank you for every single rep you do today. Now, we want to hear from you. Which everyday activity has become harder for you lately? Climbing stairs, getting up from chairs, or keeping your balance? If you're over 60, when was the moment you first noticed your legs weren't as strong as they used to be? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.